Hello everyone, this is the econ guy. Today with my first video, I kind of just wanted to put out a general intro to economics. So what is economics? In its most basic form, economics is a study of people and the decisions that people make. It isn't a study of money like a lot of people think. There's a lot of confusion there. Economics does have quite a bit to do with money, but it isn't a study of money. It's a study of the what do people want and what are people willing to do to get that. So what do I mean by all of this? So say that you're given a decision between having an apple or an orange. You can only have one of them. If you decide to eat the apple, then you can't have the orange. And that right there is economics, because you're deciding to have the apple over the orange. You demanded the apple more than you want the orange, right? So that is what you can think of as economics at its most basic level. Moving on, what is an economist, right? An economist is just someone who looks at the needs of a society and they try to guide that organization or that society in making the right decision. You can kind of think of it as a linguist or a physicist, right? An economist is just someone who goes deeper into economics and who studies economics deeply. And if it's kind of your own decision to when you can call yourself an economist, right? If you do a lot of self-study and if you think that you know a lot about it, you can call yourself an economist, right? It's not like you have to have that job. You have to actively get a degree in economics to be an economist. And the last thing that's important here is, what is an economy? This is kind of the most important takeaway. So the textbook definition that you can think of as an an economy is a group of producers and consumers that are all interconnected. And if you don't know what those words mean, don't worry, I'm going to explain them later in the video. But just if you need like a textbook definition, it is a group of producers and consumers that are all connected. Now let's move on to these key terms. I find that with economics, once you understand the basic level key terms, you can kind of figure out what people are talking about, even at higher levels of the field, right? So one of the most important things that you need to understand, if you don't already know what it is, are goods and services. Goods and services are just things that have value and things that can be traded. So think of a banana, right? A banana does have value. It can be used for something. It has a purpose. Its purpose is that you can eat it. You can use it for energy. And it can be traded. You can pay someone for a banana, right? It's not like when someone has a banana, they can't give it to someone else. You can trade a banana for money or for some other good. A service is kind of like goods, as in it has value. So say that you are giving someone a haircut. That is a service. You are providing that service of cutting someone's hair. And in turn, those people will trade you for that value of the haircut. They might pay you in money for giving them a haircut, right? So that is what goods and services are. They're different, as in goods are kind of more tangible. They're like actual items or things, whereas services are more of actions, but they're both things that can be traded and both things that have a value. Moving on, what is a market? So a market can kind of just be thought of as a place where goods and services are traded. So say a farmer's market, right? What goods or services are there at a farmer's market? Mostly there are goods. The goods are coming in the form of produce, right? Either there's vegetables or fruits like apples and bananas. That's the kind of goods. And you are willing to trade. Whenever you go to the farmer's market, you might see people in stalls with all of their produce set out. So you are trading people some money or something else, and they will give you their produce, right? So that is kind of what a market is. It's a place where goods and services are traded. And nowadays, you can also find online markets. That wasn't really a thing in the past because you didn't really have computers, but nowadays we have those. So an online market could be thought of, one example is the stock market, right? Mostly stocks are traded online. So that's why that is an online market. Stocks have a value. Shares of a company have values. So when you trade them, that can be thought of as a market. Moving on, what is a producer and a consumer? You see those two words underlined in green above, but if you're wondering what they are, if you don't know, a producer, which is, you can kind of think of it as a producer and a consumer in science, right? In science, a producer is an organism that produces food for itself, and a consumer is an organism that usually eats producers or consumes producers to get that energy from them. And it's a similar concept in economics. Producers are people or organizations or companies that produce goods or services. So an example of a producer would be a farmer who's selling his strawberries in the farmer's market, right? He is producing his strawberries. He's growing them, he's caring for them, and then he's getting them and he's selling them, right? So he is a producer. That would be an example of a producer. Companies can also be producers. Usually, whenever we buy stuff today, we don't buy it from one person, right? We usually buy it from some sort of a company. Some sort of a company produced those goods as a company, not as an individual person, and we buy it from that company. What is a consumer? So it's the flip side of a producer, right? A consumer is just someone who buys or consumes, uses goods or services. So say that I'm at that farmer's market with that farmer who's selling strawberries to me. If I buy those strawberries from him, I would be a consumer because I am buying it. It is the flip side of being a producer. So now let's finish up with this last term. What is opportunity cost? So opportunity cost can be thought of as the cost of the next best alternative. Say that you go to a friend's house. That friend offers you either a bowl of strawberries or a banana, right? So you can either have the bowl of strawberries or the banana, but you can't have both. So say that you decide to eat the banana. When you decide to pick the banana, you're getting the banana for free, right? Your friend isn't charging you for it. So it doesn't have any monetary price if you think of it like that. However, there is an opportunity cost. There's no monetary cost, but there is an opportunity cost to choosing to eat the banana. The opportunity cost is the bowl of strawberries, because when you choose to eat the banana, you are not able to have the bowl of strawberries. So the cost of choosing the banana, the opportunity cost of choosing the banana, is the bowl of strawberries. Say that we reverse that situation. Say that you decide to eat the bowl of strawberries. So the opportunity cost of eating the bowl of strawberries is having the banana. The opportunity cost of choosing to eat the bowl of strawberries is the banana, since you can't eat the banana if you eat the strawberries. So that is opportunity cost on a basic explanation of opportunity cost. So on that note, I'd like to wrap up the video. This is kind of just a basic introduction to economics. There's a lot of concepts if you go deep into the subject, and even though it does get harder, it stays interesting because you're always continuing with a study of people, right? And so because people can sometimes be irrational or can do some things that seem kind of weird, it has that structure of the STEM subjects like science, technology, engineering, and math. It has that kind of structure because economics does have a lot of math involved, but it also does have the kind of irrationality and, a little bit of asymmetry of the people, right? Of language and art and music and history. So because it has both of those aspects, economics is really a balanced field. You're studying both people and the sciences, math at the same time. And for that reason, I really do think economics is worth your time. On that note, I'd like to wrap up this video. So see you next time.